All right, we're live. Welcome to episode 10 of this disaster.
Rick Kidman, number 10.
Yeah, number 10.
Who is
Here
number
we
10
are.
of the Red Sox now?
O'Neill?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think it's O'Neill. Or Story. Is this O'Neill or Story?
Oh, Story, Trevor Story. Yes,
Yeah, Story,
yes.
yeah. So here we are, week 10, and I feel like a Groundhog Day. Talking about more injuries, more weak lineups, more problems with the rotation. Even though their ERA is the best in the league, it's kind of getting old talking about it at this point. But this is a Red Sox show, so we have to talk about the Red Sox.
Before we get it going here with the Red Sox pitching staff, I had a question for you that I was gonna ask you. What is your walk-up? What's your walk-up song if you come to the plate for a step back for the Red Sox?
My walk-up song?
Yeah.
Probably like Baby Shark or something that my kids listen to.
Who's Baby Shark?
You don't know Baby Shark?
No.
The little kid song? Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah.
No. Yeah, probably like one of my kids' songs or something like that.
I don't know. All right, so you got to do a little homework. Next week, I'm going to ask you again, and we're gonna talk about walk-up songs for you and I for next week.
All right.
I don't want to put you on because I got mine and it's unbelievable. But we'll save it for next week so that you can have time to prepare for your walk-up song.
I mean, the All-Star game last year in my league, I did "Call Me Maybe." Like I always do something silly.
Yeah, let's give you a week to figure out what your walk-up song is.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. All right.
Go back to your pitching questions.
Yeah, so no question, but here we are today. Brian Bellows down, and it's a lat strain, which doesn't sound too terrible. Not an elbow, fortunately, but you have to wonder. Andrew Bailey is this god to everyone because the ERAs are so low right now. But what is he changed with the pitching staff that's making them all get hurt? Because literally they're all getting hurt. And when you look at the pitch mixes on Fangraphs, it's pretty easy to look up. You can see that Bello was throwing 57% fastballs last year, and he's down to like 39% this year. And his slider and his curveballs are up. And that's across baseball. And these horizontal pitches seem to be putting more strain on pitchers' arms, and shoulders, and they've got Driveline in the building too, which we can talk about.
Well,
so what are your thoughts? Yeah, go ahead.
I don't necessarily think that the increase in sliders and curveballs is so much Andrew Bailey as it is Kyle Bodie, however you want to pronounce his last name, and Driveline, because like you said, it's up all over the place, and Andrew Bailey's only been in a couple of places, but Driveline's in a lot of places all over, Major League Baseball. So I'll tell you this. I think the part of the reason the Red Sox is so improved pitching staff is, and I hate to say it because he's an alumni of my school at Bridgeton Academy, but I don't know if Dave Bush really was on the up and up and knew what he was doing.
That's the rumor.
As the previous pitching coach. So I think Andrew Bailey takes over and the only way to go is up, right? So for one, I think that has a lot to do with it. But then I also think that Andrew Bailey's put his stamp on it and things have obviously improved. But this whole Kyle Bodie thing is really rearing its ugly head, and the injuries, and you don't have to blow out an elbow or a shoulder to have your body influenced by Driveline. Okay. Right. And we found this out last week when we talked to the hick from French Lick down there in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Brent, right. that there's so many different movements that are involved in pitching at that level. And you look, one guy's got, you got two guys down with obliques, right? Because Pavetta's down with an oblique too, right?
No, Pavetta's his elbow.
Oh, was his elbow?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. And what about Mata? What was Mata down with?
I think Mott has been his elbow all along. No,
I don't know.
I
It's
haven't
been
paid
so
attention to
long.
Mott because he's such a disappointment. I kind of stopped even counting on him.
Sure, sure. Okay. Well, I just think that there's doing so many new drastic things that, and it's hard to say with a straight face that you're doing. These are pro baseball players, and they're doing so many different things that their bodies can't handle it. And to the average person, they're like, what are you talking about? We all get up and go to work every day, and we don't feel good, and we still get up and go to work, but their job is completely relevant to how their body feels.
Yeah.
And I think that they're doing movements, and I think a lot of it has to do with the pregame stuff that they're doing, because these guys are all getting hurt in pregame, not during the game.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like no one has come out of a game hurt. It's always in between starts,
There you go.
which is shows you that they're doing something wrong in between starts. And you see some of the drills that Driveline has them doing, whether it's pull downs or running guns or that silly thing where you're throwing the ball backwards behind you and
With the
twisting,
plyo balls, yeah.
yeah, twisting your body or whatever. It's a problem, and I don't know what the answer is because he's brainwashed people into thinking that his way is the way, and I don't know how. I mean, he already destroyed the Cincinnati staff and was fired already. So I don't understand why the Red Sox looked at that and said, "Hey, let's bring this guy in."
Didn't he get dumped from Philadelphia too?
Not him personally, but one of his coaches, Jason something, I believe, was hired by the Phillies and fired already, and then Kyle himself was hired by the Reds and fired already.
I thought, Jason was maybe a partner or something, right? Or
yeah, he was like one of the head coaches or something like that at Driveline. Yeah.
So, but basically, their philosophy, they were brought in. He was brought in, to implement their philosophy, and after a couple of years, it's backfired. They dumped him. Same thing with Cincinnati, and I assume same thing will happen with the Red Sox at some point.
Yeah, but what in the Red Sox brain made them bring him in the first place after he was dumped by a shitty franchise like Cincinnati? Andrew Bailey? Was it Bailey that is a Driveline guy? You know what I mean? Or is there a pitcher on the staff that's a Driveline guy that said, "Hey, you got to get this guy in here"?
Maybe Breslow somewhere along the lines.
Or Breslow, could be Breslow. Yep.
Right. Maybe what my point. My guess is it's probably Craig Breslow, because him being a former pitcher, him probably and being a smart guy and into the analytics at a probably at a level that you and I would vomit at, right? Because we're kind of a little bit of old school, and probably fell in love with the whole Driveline thing, and just said, let's implement it here, and it'll be better here because I'll have my hands on it. I don't know if maybe that's what he was thinking when he said, let's bring Kyle in. So, but to your point a few weeks ago, the injuries are starting to pile up and at an astronomical rate. Like, I think the Red Sox have more. They don't even have enough guys on the 40-man roster to fill the Red Sox roster.
No, they had to bring up a third catcher because he was the only healthy body on the 40-man. And they brought him up, and
he got hurt the next day.
I think that was bullshit, though. Don't you think they had to activate somebody, O'Neill? And I think they had a bullshit injury because I think he was on one of those minor league deals where if he gets called up, he doesn't have any options left. I don't think.
Oh, so you think he's on a phantom DL?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah,
so they could hang on to him for a little while.
So so he said he would have had to agree to that, by the way.
Yeah, and I think there was like some reports that like he's having a really good time in Worcester and like likes the organization or whatever. So
well, now he's hanging out in Boston. I mean, with the big club. So
yeah, he's in the dugout. So
and that's okay because he's making more meal money than he was in AAA weekly salary. So
yeah, he's been around the big leagues long enough though. He's not looking for meal money, I don't think.
No, but he's making more meal money a day than he's making in a week. In
Worcester, yeah. So yeah.
Once you get a little taste of the big leagues, the travel and the hotels and the food and everything. Nobody wants to go back to AAA ever, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine. So,
Wait
I
a
didn't
second.
even.
Wasn't it, while we're on that topic, wasn't it Manny Ramirez who had like $800,000 check in his glove
Yeah,
box for like 8 months, and that was all his meal money and incidentals and reimbursements, and he never cashed it for like 10 months.
yeah, I remember that story, something like that.
And then the other Manny, what the hell was that other Manny's name, who was driving his car? He picked him up and said, "Hey, you got an $800,000 check in there." He goes, "Yeah, whatever."
That's awesome.
Guy's making $20 million a year. He wasn't worried about $800,000 per diem check.
Yeah, and so anyways, the Red Sox today they won 8-0. I don't know how much of the game you caught. I didn't catch almost any of it.
I didn't catch any of it. I didn't know it started at 6.
Yeah, it started early, and like I've had a crazy day, and I've had the kids to myself tonight, so my wife's out, so I haven't been able to pay attention. But Wong, another home run. Abreu driving in runs. Devers hits a home run. Wong hit 2 home runs today, and drove in another run later on in the game. So Wong's got 5 home runs already, which is crazy.
And he's not playing a lot up until the last week.
Yeah, and they just keep getting it done. I mean, 14-11. They still, of course, they still haven't really played anyone. I mean, the Guardians are 17-7 though, so we can say that their lineup stinks.
The Pink Hats will tell you that the Guardians, they're the best team in baseball because of their record. I would venture a guess to you right now that the Guardians do not make the playoffs.
No, I don't think that they're a playoff team. They're not deep enough. They don't have. No, they're not a playoff team. I like the Royals and the Tigers better than them.
The Royals and the Tigers. Yes. Yeah. The Tigers, I'm a little light on their offense, to be honest with you.
The whole Central, I'm light on the offense. Kind of stinks.
But the Royals' offense is pretty good.
Yeah,
I just think they're a little light on pitching. But yeah, to your point, they probably won't make the playoffs.
No, I don't think so. And right now they lead the Central in runs scored and runs against, which is crazy. So maybe their schedule's light too. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's so early, but we can't complain at 14-11. All we can say is that they've got it done. They've played the schedule that's in front of them, and they've won more games than they've lost, and that's great. I just Tristan Cassis apparently had extreme discomfort in his rib, which that could, for a kid that puts that kind of torque on his body when he swings, that could be a lingering thing. Devers, he's a 250-pound third baseman.
Right.
He's got a sore knee and a sore shoulder. I don't see that getting better as the season wears on and the days get longer and hotter, and he's got 40, 50 games under his belt. I don't see that going away. And what's going on with Yoshida? He's been out of the lineup for like 3 days. Have they said anything about that?
So I saw the pregame clip with Cora when someone asked, why isn't Yoshida in the lineup again today? So basically what Cora's excuse was, and it's a terrible excuse. Cora said, well, O'Neill came back yesterday. I wanted him to play DH. Raffy came back today. I wanted Raffy to DH. And on Sunday, I forget, he didn't play Raffy he didn't play Yoshida on Sunday either. So his excuse was that, we're getting guys to come back. Devers couldn't play third base today. He can only DH. He's going to play third base tomorrow, supposedly. So he did say that Yoshida will be in the lineup tomorrow. But I saw in the dugout, did you see, might have been yesterday's game, where the translator was translating something from one of the assistants to Yoshida about pinch hitting, and Yoshida kind of looked. He had his helmet on in the dugout, and it kind of ended abruptly, the conversation, where he kind of walked away. like Yoshida did, like he was pissed off,
Wait,
and
he's aggravated.
he ended up not getting, not hitting. So something's going on. I think that Cora doesn't like Yoshida. Cora likes guys that can play multiple positions, guys that you could plug in anywhere, and versatile guys, because that's what he was. And let's be honest, those guys help a team win. But you also need those catalysts that that are third, first base guys. They play 150 games, and you need those guys to win championships. I don't know. Something's going on. You're right. Something is definitely going on with Yoshida. He's a one-tool guy, and in the big leagues, he can't hit field, he can't run, he can't throw. He's got minimal power.
You think they're trying to move him?
What are they going to move him for?
Well, I mean, if they eat some money, and
how much money? How much money are you going to eat?
They'd have to probably eat half of his contract.
Who is going to pick him up for $7.5 million a year?
Someone that really needs a left-handed hitting DH.
Okay.
Toronto?
No shot. They won't even bring up Votto.
Oh, that's right. They got Votto. Yeah.
Who's DHing for them a lot is the guy from the Mets.
Oh,
Vogelback.
Yeah.
He can barely run to first base.
Yeah, so I mean, Yoshida would be an upgrade over him. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be a reason why he's been out 3 straight days. He's getting paid $96 million. Like there's more than just what Cora said, for sure.
There definitely is, but Cora was very adamant about it. He said, we had a lefty going on Sunday. O'Neill had the DH Monday. They were off Monday. So O'Neill had a DH yesterday. Devers had a DH today because he wasn't ready to play the field. Either you're ready to play or you're not. I mean, if you're a position player, what's one more day? Stay out until you're ready to play in the field.
Yeah, and he's not an outfielder either, Devers. So I mean, third base, it's not exactly running around like crazy out there.
Right.
So, but it is standing on your knees, on the knee, I suppose. But I don't know.
I see a DFA coming for him at some point because nobody's going to pick him up. No one's going to trade for his third, even a third of his salary. They will just take the DFA and pick him up for the league minimum. That's it, because that's all he is. Like if he was in AAA and he didn't have, he was just a AAA guy with no big salary attached to. He wouldn't be in the big leagues.
No.
Where would he be? Think about it. Where would he, if he
Japan?
Where?
Japan.
Exactly. He would not be here. If he was the Red Sox minor leagues, he would have got cut. We're gonna released.
Yeah, I agree.
So who's gonna trade for half the salary? Nobody. No. So I don't know. But listen, those are good conversations to have when you're starting to win games with not your regular lineup in there. I don't think, to be honest with you, Cora cares 2 shits about Yoshida and his feelings.
No, I don't think so either, and neither do I, quite frankly. He's not a great baseball player. So onto the rotation. Right now they've got Houck and Crawford.
Cutter Crawford and Tanner Houck, and that's it.
They're the only 2 left. So Criswell is in the rotation, and it looks like Winkowski is in the rotation for now as well. And he's playing on a bad ankle. He's got bone spurs in his ankle. He's
playing on borrowed time, yes.
Yeah, and he hasn't been great either. I think he had a decent start, but he was having a pretty rough start in the bullpen this year. His ERA is up over 4. He's got shitty numbers this year so far. And that 5th spot, is it going to be Chase Anderson? Or are they just going to do another bullpen day? Because you essentially have 3 bullpen days right now. And the staff,
I'm sure they're trying to find someone to make a trade with at the AAA level so they can bring somebody up.
Yeah, they brought in like one kid that was released, and he's in Worcester now. He's a failed major leaguer, but they just need they need a body that can throw 4 innings every 5 days, and they don't have that guy right now. But I think it's time though to accept that maybe this team could do more than we thought.
Negative.
And you don't think they should invest and bring in some bodies? Or you think?
Well, first of all, they haven't played anybody yet. They
Yep.
haven't played anybody. Okay. Who I pulled up the schedule.
They haven't played the AL East at all, except for 3 games against Baltimore.
And they got swept at home.
Yeah.
So they get the Cubs this weekend in Chicago. Then they got San Fran. Then they got the Yankees. Oh no. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't see with my glasses.
I can pull it up. I got it right here. So yeah, they've got the Cubs, the Giants, the Twins, the Braves, and then Nationals, Rays. Yeah.
It starts right. The Rays are the Braves.
The Braves, and then the Nationals, and then the Rays.
Yeah. Right. So
the Cardinals, and the Rays, and then the Brewers, and the Orioles, and the Tigers, and the Braves again. So they got a pretty tough stretch. They got Phillies, Yankees, Blue Jays, Reds, Blue Jays, Padres, and then they got a break with the Marlins finally at the beginning of July.
Yeah, and so what do you expect them to go to stay afloat?
Yeah, no, I don't think that they're going to stay afloat, but at this point, punting is such a bad look.
Well, you don't have to punt. You don't have to punt, but they're not going to add. That's why they brought Hunterman up. They could have gone out and gotten somebody. They could have traded for Votto, but Votto's going to make $1 million, whatever the veteran minimum is. They don't want to add that to the salary.
What about Crone? Did he end up with a team?
No, he's still out there. But how long is Cassis going to be? And how did he get hurt? By the way,
they didn't say how. They just said he felt discomfort, and then he really felt it after one at bat a couple days ago, and that was the end of it.
Fractured rib.
Is it fractured? Do they say it's a fractured rib?
Fractured rib.
Yeah, that's going to take a while.
6-8 weeks. Just because
where it is. Yeah.
Yeah. 6-8 weeks. Just when you think, you're good enough to come back, you take a couple swings. Oh, I feel it again. Boom. Oh, you got to start all over, right? I've heard of guys breaking ribs like with a violent sneeze. So it's not like it can't happen, but that's going to be it's probably 2 months.
So we got 2 months of Bobby Dalbec, who is hitting .054.
He's 1 for 30.
He's 1 for the season, I believe. Maybe 2 for the season now. So yeah, lucky us. I just think they have pieces down in the minors, not without trading away a big piece. They've got a couple guys that are in or near the top 100 that are never going to play in Boston, like Nick York and Blaze Jordan, that they could maybe move and get something to come supplement the major league roster right now. And fans will freak out because Nick York is whatever, he's the next Dustin Pedroia, and Blaze Jordan is the next whatever the fuck, Tristan Kansas, who knows. But in reality, neither one of them is a major leaguer and is never going to have a spot on this roster because they're blocked.
Not in Boston, right?
So why not? Why not go out and try to get something back for them? You're not gonna get a top line starter, but you might be able to get a journeyman starter or a swingman or a 4A guy that can help you for a while, that kind of thing. And it just seems like they should invest and see if they can stay above 500 until Cassis gets back.
Well, for one, nobody's running away with any division yet. So there's so many teams that are still in it, unless you're the White Sox. Right?
Yeah.
They're on pace for like a 25-28 win season, which is embarrassing. But so just about every other team, besides them and the Marlins, are all believe they have a chance to get in the playoffs. So why would you give away insurance for a player, right?
Yeah, it would have to be a team that has extra bodies. Like one thing that came to mind, the Braves, um, they've got Strider down, and they just brought up Elder, and he's probably going to stay up now and fill in that spot. So they've got Elder, Fried, Sale, Morton, Reynaldo Lopez in the lineup, and they still have AJ Smith-Schuster down in the minors, and they've got one more arm, Schwellenbach, who's also pretty close. And they keep bringing this kid Darius Vines up and down, and he's not performing really well. And it just seems like maybe he needs either change of scenery. That's like a guy like that, like a guy that he's a kind of an extra arm in the system. They could part ways with him. They could add Nick York with Ozzie Albies being hurt. Maybe that's something that could work, something like that. And that's a stretch because I don't think that the Braves need or want Nick York. But something like to that effect, a team that's got an extra arm kicking around like the Braves do.
So I just think
what a luxury.
So it makes sense to at least
explore
it. I just think he's going to throw good money after bad money by doing that, because you're going to have to replace your shortstop, because Rafael cannot play shortstop for the rest of the year with the way he's hitting. He's going to end up hitting 100. They'll just completely blow out his development, right? It's not good.
Yeah, he's at 154 right now.
Yeah, and he's had a good couple, like the last two out of 3 games. He's had a home run and a double and whatnot, but he's still only up to 154.
What's worse is his on base percentage isn't even 200.
Yeah, so right, and he's in the 9 hole, but he's also now he's your shortstop. He is, say what you want, he's your shortstop.
Yep.
So if he's if you got to replace him, if you start replacing guys, what are you just putting a Band-Aid on things? I don't know. Either you go all in and you make a big trade for a couple of guys, put Rafaela back in center field, or send him to AAA, which is where he really belongs. He should be getting ready to come up in a couple weeks, not have 80 at bats under his belt, batting 150. I was dead against this whole thing starting this way, and I knew it was
we both were.
Yeah. So anyways, but I don't know if you do anything. Don't you have to get a shortstop first? Like, are they expecting Vaughn Grissom to play shortstop?
At least in the middle infield, they have Vaughn Grissom coming, whereas in the rotation, they don't have anything. There's nothing. There's nobody in the minor leagues, period, at any level that even looks like they might be able to help the major league team this year.
Correct.
I mean, we're talking about they have Licky and they have maybe one other bullpen arm that can rotate in and out throughout the year.
They don't need bullpen.
They don't need bullpen arms right now.
You need guys that can toe the rubber every 5 days.
Yeah, and there's not a single pitcher in the system. This Cam Boozer kid, great story. What an awesome story. He was a carpenter. He was a carpenter in 2017. There's a reason why he was a carpenter in 2017. And it's because he's not a major league pitcher. And, everyone was clamoring for him to get up here because Joe Jakes, Jacquez, or whatever his name was so bad. You got to get Boozer up here. He's doing so well in AAA. Well, AAA isn't the bigs. And Cam Boozer is not a major league pitcher. And his ERA so far in just 3 innings has proved it.
What's his ERA? He gave
9.
him a bomb the other day.
Yeah, he's got a 9 ERA already. And so he's not a major leaguer. They do need one more piece. It's probably Litgay, I would imagine. And they really need some starters.
And didn't I see Jakes get picked up too?
Jakes got picked up by the Diamondbacks? Yeah. It was the Diamondbacks, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to stick with the Diamondbacks either. He's not.
Well, he's lefty, that's why, right? So that these guys think that they can. Every team thinks that they're going to resurrect somebody, right?
Yeah.
So good luck to them. I hope the kid works out, but he was terrible here. Terrible.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Is Whitlock going to come back soon?
Well, you hope those guys all come back relatively soon, right? Whitlock should be back at some point, right?
Yeah, I think he's back before Pivetta, because I wouldn't be surprised if we hear Pivetta is, getting TJ.
So Pavetta's going to come back, and my guess is he'll get shut down again.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
Right.
They'll bring him back, and it's all going to eventually lead to Tommy John.
You know that they're going to baby Bello. You know that.
Oh, they have to.
So if they say 4 weeks, make it 6.
Yeah, well, he's been pitching through it the last couple starts, I guess. So maybe it is something that he just needs a week or two off, and he'll be okay. I mean, a lat, it could be anything. It could be like a little impingement that just needs to get worked out, or it could be, a light strain or something that gets worked out pretty easily. So we'll see. We have to wait and see it probably a week before we know.
If he's going on the DL with the way their rotation is, he's hurt.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess, but at the same time, they do have to baby him because he is the future.
They have to, right?
And they don't have another future. There's there's nothing. The only pitching prospect they have right now is Dick Fitz that they got for Verdugo, and I haven't checked on him in a while. Actually, I should probably check in and see how he's doing. But
who's the kid that they traded that they got from
Nick Sandlin from KC?
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, let's see
how is he doing so far.
Let's look it up. Why not?
Because all I heard from the Pink Hats was it was the steal of the century. He's going to be the 5th starter by June, and he's a AA, right? Is he a AA, AAA?
I'm going to tell you right now. So,
by the way, while you're looking, the Celtics are getting pounded.
Are you surprised? He's in single A.
He's in single A.
Yeah, he's in Salem.
In Salem, yeah.
Yeah. So, but he's got an 8.1 ERA in Salem.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's great. Let me look up Fitz real quick. This will be fun. That's 12 ERA. So he's in Worcester, and he's doing well. So he's got 3 starts, 2.3 ERA, 15 innings, and 3 starts. So he's actually throwing 5 innings a game. His whip's low, which I like to see.
How old is he, Jimmy?
He is 24.
Bring him up.
Right? I mean, he's the only hope that they have. So maybe we do see Dick Fitz up here, because Dick does fit into this rotation right now.
Sure does. Jam him in there.
Jam Dick Fitz in there. Oh, boy. That'll be a fun one for years to come, I hope.
Oh, can you just imagine Joe Castiglione or could you imagine Jerry Remy and
Dio? They'd have a blast with that.
Oh, would they have?
That's probably the only time I miss those fucking two.
I saw it must have been right around opening day where it was the anniversary of the pizza throw.
I'm so sick of the fucking pizza throw.
But so it was the anniversary late last week while they were home, right? And so they replayed the video, and it's not so much the video, it's how for 4 pitches in a row
they can't stop laughing.
They don't. Well, first of all, Oscillo doesn't say anything, right? Because he can't. He's laughing. He's got the mic down and he's holding like this, and they're laughing hysterically. And then after 3 pitches, Oscillo puts the mic back on and he says, he's screaming, laughing. He's like, for a pitch. And then all you can do here in the background is Remy can't stop laughing. And you know what? That's what you missed about the Red Sox broadcast, right? Is those two doing what they did. And
I couldn't stand it, honestly.
I thought Oscillo was a little over the top, but I could listen to Remy, all day long. For me, he was great. But when those two got together and started giggling, it's some of the best, for me, it's some of the best TV that you could watch. But so anyway, so that anniversary was the other day, but those guys would have a field day with Dick Fitz of the roster.
Yeah, that would be funny for sure. I wonder. It'll be interesting to hear a fucking uptight Will Fleming and Joe Castiglione do it. So I mean, they'll just call him Richard Fitz, and they won't have any fun.
Wet blanket city.
There's such zeros. Oh my god.
Well, Joe's old. Joe's 100 years old. Yeah. He does a good job, but he doesn't have any personality. But the other guy there, what's his name? Will
Fleming. He sucks.
I could do without him.
Yeah, I was listening the other day, and they had Lou was doing the call, and he was on with Joe, and I've been listening to him more on the radio lately because it's easy to. I got like 10 Alexas in the house, so I can just have it playing all throughout the house while I'm doing stuff. And I swear to God, Joe didn't say a word for like 2 straight innings. I don't know where he went or whatever, but Lou was just by himself, and it was a struggle listening to Lou call the game by himself. Lou's really good. He's really good analytically.
Yeah, but he's a color guy. He's not a play-by-play.
Yeah, but like, you can like, there's like a lot of dead air, and like he's not super entertaining. In between pitches and stuff, he doesn't have a lot to say. So it was a struggle listening to Lou call. I don't know where Joe went. I don't know if they take innings off or something, or
he probably in the shitter.
Yeah, it was like literally like an inning and a half, maybe 2 innings. It was just Lou. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Kicked in.
Yeah.
The Celtics are down 9 points with 5 minutes to go at home. What a disaster.
I mean, do you expect anything less? I didn't expect a sweep in the series, even without Butler.
Well, after the way they played the other night, this NBA with their travel schedule, they played Sunday, this Wednesday.
Yeah, not great. So is Tatum like coughing up the ball left and right? I'm not even watching.
I don't know. I'm not really paying attention. Just got on the background, but
Porzingis is 1 for 9. Holiday's 4 for 11.
I know Brown was having a good game.
Brown's having a great night. Yeah, Tatum's not doing bad either. He's got 3 turnovers, but he's 9 for 18 from the floor. That's not bad. Yeah, it looks like Porzingis and Holiday having tough nights.
Well, they were trying to force feed the ball into Porzingis in the first half, and there was like 3 or 4 turnovers in a row. And they were trying to get it to him, but Bam Adebayo was just all over Porzingis, and Porzingis getting a little foul trouble. But anyways, I digress. Back to baseball. So Jimmy, I don't know, man. Maybe there's an open tryout for the Red Sox for pitching. We get you loose. I can't pick a baseball up anymore to throw more than 40 feet.
I threw 3 innings on Sunday. I wasn't supposed to, and our starter forgot his cleats at home and had to run back home. And the coach looks at me. He's like, "Can you start?" And it was like 10 minutes before the game. I was like, "Fuck!" It was freezing cold. I threw 3 innings, no earned runs. I was so proud. I couldn't even lift up my arm the next day.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. I really enjoy playing in my old man league, the 38 plus league.
Yeah, because you're a superhero.
Yeah, I play second base and shortstop, and I pitch and like stuff I haven't done like fucking. I mean, I've never pitched in my life. But stuff I haven't played middle infield since I like North Shore League a million years ago. So it's fun to like not play first base or catch, which is cool. So, and then my young league starts up. We're supposed to start this weekend, but we're grounded by the umpires. so we don't start now until May 5th.
Do you want to give a shout out to
my assigner? No,
assigner.
I don't, because there's actually a slight chance he's listening, because I was talking to him. Actually, I was talking to him about you this morning.
Gary?
To Gary, yeah.
Hey, Gary, get off your high horse, okay, pal? You didn't invent the game. The game's going to be here long after you're gone. Stop being a dick. Let the kids play.
Thank you. He doesn't speak for me, Gary. Yeah. So that's a whole.
Don't make me come to New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first body I've dug. First hole I've dug.
Yeah, there was some talk from guys that were like, let's go get him. I'm like, go get him?
Let's go get him.
So yeah, that's amateur baseball in New Hampshire. It's fun stuff.
Emphasis on amateur with the assigner, but all right, that's it. Move on. Ding, boom.
Yeah. So I don't get much else. I'm really my bets fucking thing is going shitty this week. I'm 1-2 every day this week. So now I'm barely breaking even after like a week and a half of betting, but I'm still breaking even. So that's I guess that's all that matters. I get to watch some shitty games, and because I bet on them, they were interesting to me. So like the White Sox today, I had the over. They got the over, which is great.
I jumped on your Yankees over your Yankees money line bet on Monday.
Oh
What a
God,
fucking disaster, Jim.
they couldn't score a run against J.P. Sears.
Jim, it was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Well, and what's going on with Aaron Judge?
I don't know, man. He looks terrible. I don't think he could hit in your lineup.
Well, I don't know about that, but
He can play. That doesn't mean he's going to hit. He looks lost at the plate. Now he'll listen. He's a two hanging fastballs from being back in a groove, right? But
yeah,
he looks awful. Like getting out on easy pitches, getting
you
himself
can't hit
out.
baseball.
Just rolling over balls like I've never seen him do, and he looks like he's been hanging around with Giancarlo Stanton for too long.
Yeah, I have a feeling that contract is not going to age well. And really, if you look at his career so far, he's got that, the one MVP season, but he's got a lot of kind of like up and down.
Oh, he's hurt. He's been hurt.
A lot of injuries. He's not on the field a lot.
He's playing center field. He's the worst center fielder in baseball.
Unless Jared Duran's out there.
No, Jared Duran's a much better outfielder than center fielder than
defensively.
Yes, to go get the big. Listen, Jared Duran's arm stinks.
Does he run in a straight line to get the ball though? Because Duran doesn't.
Aaron Judge is a DH playing center field.
Yeah,
because they got 4 other DHs.
Yeah,
so, and I'm sure that's not helping his big toe that's hurt still, and his toes probably still hurt. Those turf toes or whatever he had, those take forever to heal.
In the words of the greatest coach that ever lived, Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights, Coach Taylor. The toe is a long way from the heart. I think it was the knee, but the knee is
yeah.
But yeah, he's lost, and it is fun to. Did you catch that game that we were talking about, Mason Miller in the 9th inning?
I did. I did. And the only reason why I stayed for the 9th was I knew he was going to come in, and he went.
Holy shit!
He went Volpe,
Soto, Judge,
and then Judge,
and just took an absolute shit on their heads.
Yeah.
So I hope that kid stays healthy because he looks awesome. And last year he was up and down with kind of a high ERA. He was wild. But it looks like this year he kind of figured out how to throw strikes a little bit. He looked fucking disgusting against the Yankees the other day. That's fun to watch. And, if you're an A's fan, that's pretty much all you have to hang your hat on right now.
And, pitching, hitting in the daytime, like that early in the day.
It's tough.
Where there's more glares and high skies than anything. It's hard. And that guy's buzzing 102, 103, and kind of just wild enough where you got to. You
don't want to get comfortable, yeah.
It makes for a good closer.
Yeah, he's nasty. Yeah, people don't realize how hard it is to hit a baseball in daylight.
It's awful.
Which is another piece of like the people that don't think like, oh, Ted Williams couldn't hit today. Ted Williams played all of his games in the daytime with a fucking swinging a telephone pole and swinging at dirty baseballs that were covered in spit and pine tar, and playing on shitty fields, playing with no masseuse, chef, nutritionist, trainer, iPad, HGH, and like armor, helmet, all the shit that the players have today. I think Ted Williams would be just fine today.
My dad tells me a story all the time because he was the roving minor league instructor for the Red Sox forever. And at spring training, my dad, was on the backfield, and Ted used to come out in the backfields all the time. And And he said to my dad, he's like, "Yeah, you can catch, but you can't hit the slider." And he's like, "Yeah, I know I can't hit the slider." He goes, "Well, nobody can, but you got to learn to lay off it." And he said, "It's not the guys that can hit the slider because nobody can hit the slider. It's the guys that learn how to lay off it are the guys that get to the big leagues."
Yeah, and that's the good point right now with like the Cassis, the way he was struggling for a little while, and Aaron Judge right now too.
And Raphael too.
Yeah, they can't lay off the goddamn slider, and there's so many sliders being thrown today, or sweepers, or whatever you want to call it. It's a slider, and guys can't lay off of it, which is crazy. I don't know. I don't know what it's like to stand in there and see that kind of pitch, but I would like to think I'd have the discipline to not swing.
Well, you would think so, right? But it's, I mean, you're looking 90, you're looking 100, and you get the 95 slider that's running down and away late.
Yeah, it's brutal.
See you later, right? So, but those are why those guys make the big bucks. And you know what? You can get yelled at and booed at because you're making 25, 30 million a year. But don't complain about it when guys boo you because you can't lay off the slider. But he's going to get it right, and when he does, he'll probably have like the month of June of a lifetime. He'll have the best month of June and July in the history of the game because that's good players do that, and he's a really good player. But you're right. Does that contract look a little lousy? I mean, he's till he's 40 years old, right?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, look at LeMahieu. He can't even get on the game now, right? He came out of the game yesterday. After one at bat, he got set back, so he's going to start his process all over. He's gone for 5 more weeks.
Yeah, that lineup's not. I mean, aside from Soto, that lineup isn't all that scary.
I do like Volpe a lot. I think Volpe's a budding superstar.
He can't play the field though.
I don't know about that. He was Gold Glover last year, but
I know. But like you watch him though, because he makes a lot of bad throws. He's getting saved over there by Rizzo quite a bit.
True. But he's also 22 years old. When he's 25, 26, he won't make those throws.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No,
right?
I know he'll come along.
But he's a good player. I mean, would you like to have him as the cornerstone of the Reds? Would you trade Max Meyer for Anthony Volpe right now? If you're the Red Sox?
Oof.
You better say yes.
Yeah, I guess you have to just because.
Oh my goodness, you have to. It's a layup.
You have to just because you don't know about Mayer right now. But
yeah, the unknown, right?
That has the potential to be. That would have the potential to be a very bad trade for the Red Sox, I think.
Well, you're gonna get an all-star out of Volpe. He's gonna be a 10-year all-star. I don't care whether he's playing in Yankee Stadium or he's playing in Dubuque, Iowa. He's an all-star.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed with Meyer, that's for sure. Yeah, I guess today you have to make the trade. I'm just looking at the Yankee stats right now. Wow, Torres 186, Verdugo Verdugo's all right, 247.
He's only playing against righties.
Yeah, he has a platoon. Stanton's hitting 291 with a 784 OPS. That's low for him.
Stanton's off to a good start, yes.
Yeah.
But no power, like 3 home runs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's got yeah. But he's got 5 home runs.
What's Volpe hitting?
Volpe. 287, 367 OBP, 402 slugging.
He's a stud. He's a stud.
Yeah.
And he's right out of Central Casting. I mean, he's born in New Jersey. He's a Derek Jeter fan. I mean, sometimes you got to do the right thing and draft a local guy. That made sense for the Yankees to draft that kid, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The Red Sox used to do shit like that.
The Red Sox should have done that. They should have done that with right. Well, no, they didn't do that with. They missed a lot of guys. They should have done it last year with Thomas White. They should have done it a couple years ago with the Beatty kid out of Vanderbilt. They had an opportunity to draft him.
He's kind of flamed out though.
Yeah, but he always had Tommy John and everything. But I mean, he got drafted twice in the 21st pick in the first round.
Are you talking about Tyler or the younger one?
Tyler.
Yeah, he's been in Japan. I mean, that was a long time ago at this point.
Yeah, he's pitching right now in the big leagues with the Indians.
Yeah, not really. Have you seen his numbers? He's got like a 24 ERA or something.
Yeah, well, I don't know what his numbers are. I watched him pitch.
Yeah, I don't want to shit on Tyler because I love his dad, but
I want to, I saw him pitch the other day. He pitched well. He gave up a home run late, but he was in in a relief role. But those guys, when you get first chance to draft big league talent in the first round, local, you got to
do it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Thomas White should have been a layup, and I know they took Teal, and Teal's going to be, according to everyone I read, he's Thurman Munson and Colin Fisk in a putting a blender together, and that's Kyle Teal. But Thomas White is already blowing up in like rookie league, and he's going to be a superstar.
I hope so. That'd be great.
Yeah. So, but that Volpe, he's up to the task, and he's a big time player. Listen, I hated the Yankees, right? I hate the Yankees, but I loved watching Jeter play because he played every day. He wasn't flashy, didn't do things to make you say, is he going to show up today? He played every day.
That's like the worst argument on like baseball Twitter is Jeter's overrated.
Oh,
he couldn't possibly be any more underrated. He is like the Tom Brady basically of baseball.
He's like fifth all time in hits.
And how many rings and all that? I mean, he's unbelievable. So, anyways, I think we don't need to force this show to go an hour if we're going to run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, no. That's good. So your homework is to
a walk-up song.
Think about your walk-up song, and we'll talk about it next Thursday.
Right? All right, sounds good. Let's go watch the end of the Celtics loss.
Save it. So it's over. So
is it over?
They're down 8 with 30 seconds ago.
Oh, lovely. I'll play my walk-up song to start the show next week. We'll probably get taken down off YouTube, but I'll play it anyways.
All right, I'll have to give you mine too, but you'll like it.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.